Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House. When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show. This is where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. Thanks for joining us today. Hope everybody's having a great week. Boy, coming up on Labor Day weekend. Hope everybody's having a great weekend this weekend, getting some stuff done. Looking around, see what you got going on. Hopefully the weather's going to be good because today we're going to talk about emergency preparedness a little bit, especially with the hurricane hitting Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas. These are things that, we should probably keep in mind out there, especially with coming into September here, where that is Emergency Preparedness Month. We should be really thinking about, are we ready for a natural disaster? You know, if you're in one of the southern states down there, all around, you could be, actually all the way up the East Coast, you could be in a hurricane situation. Out here on the West Coast, we're more likely to have wildfires and earthquakes, though earthquakes going to happen just about anywhere. But anything from tornadoes to, I don't think there's anywhere that's really a natural disaster-free area, if you know what I mean. So everybody should be prepared, and really, they say you should have a couple weeks for your family of food sitting there and, of course, drinking water, things like that. So these are things that you should be really taking into account for your family, and take a look, I mean, it's really easy to go out and get some freeze-dried food, something like Mountain House, which is made locally for me here, but those guys are great. As far as having good, tasty food that can last 30 years or more. So you can put it away, don't worry about it, and you're not having to sit there and, take canned goods, for instance, that have a limited shelf life. You don't have to be throwing that stuff away unless you're really good at rotating that stuff through. So it's good to have that. And then have, multiple sources of water. Do you have enough water for 2 weeks? What do you got? Do you have an area where, let's say, there's rivers and streams and stuff where you're worried more about filtering versus storage. But even then, I mean, all it takes is, hey, I got a lake I can pull water from. Well, if the dam breaks in an earthquake, guess what? You don't have any water. So these are things that you should be thinking about and things that you should be taking into consideration. Things like that can change, especially during big natural disasters. And, of course, you can get water filters out there that take just about anything out of the water, but you do have to spend some money on those. So really, I wanted to talk today just about being prepared, making sure you have a solid emergency plan, and that way you're good to go. That way you have something to work towards. And it's always a process. You're never 100% dialed in. You're always going to be like, hey, well, I'm going to improve this. I'm going to get this a little better. But these are things that, you should have dialed in. And it's not like I'm sitting here telling you got to build your Y2K bunker or something, but this is one of those things that really taking the time and getting prepared will be healthier for you and your family. And it's not that hard. I mean, it just takes up, you could literally have one tote that has, a good sized tote that's got the food, freeze-dried food that you've got, as well as, you've got some water in a closet someplace, wherever you're storing that, it is a good idea to have that. And don't forget, your water heater. If that's 40, 50, 80 gallons, whatever that is another source of water. So you've got a lot of things going on. Make sure you understand how to turn off the natural gas in your home. Where can you turn off the water? Can you deal with those kind of things? And then it's not a bad idea if you had to evacuate, especially if you're in wildfire or flood country. What can you do to take your belongings and make it, could you, if you had 45 minutes, could you get the car loaded with everything that is dear, and that's not going to be an insurance claim. Could you get the family photos and the high school yearbooks or whatever you're trying to save? What is it? What could you save? And that's the thing. So think a little bit about that. Be a little more prepared, and those kind of things will help out. And I think you'll be better off that way in the long run. And worst case, you got some food. And that's not a bad thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about out there, since the kids are back at school in most places of the country, some have been back longer, some are just starting today. Really pay attention to those school zones out there, guys. Take a look. Everybody has been many times in the summer has been ignoring those school signs, but now they're back in session. So watch out for those 20 mile an hour or whatever it is in your area. 20 miles an hour is pretty much the key out there for most school zones in the U.S. here. I've seen them even go slower in some areas, but that's generally what that is. And make sure you're following the signs. Some of those ones that get you are when children are present. What does that mean? Well, kids are in school, they're walking around, they're present. So we are back at that again this year. Well, guess what, guys? We're going to have a couple episodes coming up here that are going to be in the podcast here in September. I'm going to try to do one next week. That's going to be exclusive content over on our premium membership that you're going to be able to catch. We're going to get dive into the weeds a little bit on some stuff. So you'll hear more about it here on the show. Really, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can join that. And we will have more premium content over there. And you'll be able to catch that kind of stuff. Just a little bit different. That'll be optional stuff if you want to catch it. If you want to find out more about the history of Around the House, history of me, we're going to be diving into some more of that stuff with a little background on that side. All right, everybody. Well, I got to get out here. It is Wednesday morning. I have to get out and get out to a shoot that is going to be for, it's going to be out for us here on Saturday. So we're jamming this into Saturday's show. We had some pivots this week, which is great, but we've got some new stuff, content coming out that's going to be great, as we do every single Saturday. We don't have any reruns going. This will be another great weekend of that. So no best of shows this weekend on TV, radio, just more great content for you. And hey, if you're out there tuning in, looking for video, make sure to head over to the Around the House playlist, which is at KPTV Fox 12 over on YouTube. And then you can find that playlist. We got 150 or so videos over there that you can take a look at. Or another place you can find that is just head over to aroundthehouseonline.com, and you can find out some of the cool stuff we did over there. We do everything over there from, doing my project we did last week where I put some composite cladding on the front of my house, all the way out to, we went and visited. Here's one of my fun ones there's a lot of fun ones, and I don't want to say anything bad about anybody, but one of the favorite ones was going and checking out Leatherman Tools and having them build custom tools, just made right here in the U.S., which is amazing. So many things like that. Bob's Red Mill, Oregon Freeze Dry. We went and saw them make freeze-dried food, as well as Summit Trailer. There's so many great things that we saw being made here locally, as well as so many big projects, from replacing doors to how to fix that loose electrical outlet, that and so much more. So, and I give you even some good HVAC tune-up stuff that you can do yourself with a leaf blower. So take a look over there. All right, buddy, I'm going to run. I got to head out to my next one, but I wanted to get this in so we weren't late like we were last week. As always, thanks for tuning in to Around the House. We'll see you on Saturday.
Somewhere unseen and undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, It realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's millboard.com.